So many wholesalers, when they talk to a motivated seller, they get a question and they get so scared. They get so freaked out. They don't know what to say. Something as simple as, "What's your offer?" literally will bring a brand new wholesaler or possibly you to your knees. You get clammy. Just me saying that, does that get you a little sweaty, a little scared? Do you get a little tensed up? What happens when I go out here and I ask you some objections, maybe some questions that in your heart you fear, you are scared to know? Well, in today's video, what I really want to do is kind of uncover these fears that you have and really want to take them on, especially if you're a beginner, right? Because you have these fears. You're like, oh my gosh, you're talking to a seller, but like, I hope they don't ask me this one thing. If you have that in your mind, and I think a lot of new wholesalers watching this, I'm just being honest, me starting out, I had this. I was fearful if some of these questions got brought up about maybe my authority, my credibility, my age, maybe some people, my accent. What would I do? Maybe I'm going to get destroyed. What if they have a price objection? What I want to do is really answer some of the most feared questions brand new wholesalers get, and how you can basically overcome this with a realtor, another seller, or really anything in the wholesaling real estate process. I truly believe in wholesaling real estate. It is your lack of knowledge that is stopping you from getting to that next point. It's not your action, because you have the knowledge, you know exactly what to do next. So what I want to do is systematically break down some of the most feared questions wholesalers get and how you can overcome it for wholesaling success. So let's bring this down, let's answer it, and talk exactly how to do this the right way for wholesaling success. All righty, there we go. So let's talk about these questions. Let's talk about exactly your issues right now, talking to motivated sellers and getting wholesaling real estate deals done. The honest truth here is, if you have a fear talking to these sellers, you need to start looking at yourself a different way, because it's not going to be a scary thing. So many wholesalers, they get these scary questions. Oh, they start getting freaked out over, when really it's not scary. You just got to know how to overcome this. And a lot of wholesalers, they'll see me go on these live cold calls. They'll see me watch my replays of me closing sellers and be like, how are you so smooth with that seller? How did you have no fear when they asked you this question? And the honest truth is, I am so smooth talking to these motivated sellers because it's kind of in my brain. It's kind of like an athlete, if you will, right? So for example, if you're ever into like boxing, if somebody throws a right hook at you, when you train enough in boxing, when someone throws a right hook, instinctually to just block it. Like, you don't even think about it, it just happens. Same thing happens in wrestling. When someone shoots, you know how to sprawl. Like, you don't even think about it, it just happens, right? Some wide receivers are like this too. It's like when the ball happens, you just catch it. You don't even think about catching it, it just happens. And when you really get like a athlete, a sport, just anything in general, sometimes subconsciously, because of how much preparation and practice you've done, it automatically happens. And the same thing happens with objections. So whenever anyone asks me like, what's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? I instantly spit out my answer to that objection, because I've been asked it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And I always answer it the easiest, simplest way. And so the problem is, I see a lot of wholesalers, they get so freaked out over this. They get so flipped out about what to say, what to do, how to answer these objections. And the truth is, you just don't have the knowledge of how to answer these objections. And I truly believe if you know how to answer these objections, you're going to be fine. And I know people watching this are getting clammy. They're getting sweaty. They're getting scared. And the truth, don't. So what I want to do is really kind of talk about the top 5 most common, scariest, spookiest objections you get. And I want to systematically break down exactly how to destroy them. So when you get asked this, you have no fear at all. And I know it's scary for me to break this down for you, but really, if you just practice it enough, you're good. Simple. So when someone throws the right hook, you know how to protect yourself. So again, let me reiterate this. I've said this before, but it's true. There is no fear when it comes out here to talk to a motivated seller. It's just a lack of knowledge of what to say. Now, you're not physically being intimidated over the phone. No. What you're doing instead is you have a lack of knowledge of what to say that is affecting you having wholesaling success. So let's break these down and let's talk about it so we know exactly what to say for success here. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, what is your offer? This is the scariest one. This is the most common one. And this is the one that's probably making you pee your pants right now. Hey, Zach, what's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? And you might be super scared right now to answer this. And the truth is, what I want to do is kind of teach you in two ways. What I want to do is just tell you exactly what I would say and then systematically give you the script right now in this video. So first and foremost, what is your offer? Hey, Mr. Seller, I appreciate you asking that. Before I give you the offer right now, can I just ask you one quick question? Yeah, sure. What is it? Have you ever bought in a car? Yeah, I bought in a car before. Oh yeah. So kind of like buying a car, like your house. I just got to ask you this quick question, but when you bought your car, did you test drove it before you bought it? Yeah, duh. Of course I test drove the house. Of course I test drove the car before I bought it. Okay. Well, kind of like a house and just like a car, I need to go see it in person before I give you an offer. Before I actually go and buy the car, I have to go test drive it. And I just got to go see the house in person, look at it, and really get a feel before I can commit to you an offer on the property. The thing is, I'm a man of my word here, Mr. Seller. And if I'm going to give you an offer, I'm going to stick to it. I'm not going to play games. I'm not going to go around town with you here and shop you around. I give you my commitment. And for me to do that, I have to go see the house, physically see it yourself, and see if we can make it work or not. When's a good time for me to come by and look at the house? Simple as that, right? And so it's not as complicated as you make it like seem. Like, what's your offer? I call it the car analogy, and that's the best way to kind of overcome it with a seller like this. But basically say, hey, have you ever test driven a car? Yes. Well, like me buying a car, I have to test drive the house. What do you mean? Well, I have to actually go see it, feel it, touch it, look at it, and really understand it. Then I can give the offer. There's no way I'm going to give an offer before test driving it, right? I actually have to go see it in person. Oh, I mean, that makes sense. And then you hit them with seeing if they're actually looking to sell. I like hitting them with, when's a good time for me to go see the house, since we're talking about test driving. It kind of shifts the blame off, and it's one of the best ways to get wholesaling real estate like deals done, objections done, and show you how serious you are. I see so many wholesalers go out here and get so freaked out. But like, if you just know how to talk about that, what's your offer objection, you're good to go. The problem is, yeah, I've been answering this objection the same way for like 3-4 years now. But to this day, I get new wholesalers. Oh, what do I do? You just got to do it. And you just boom, 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 boom. If you know how to do it the right way, you're going to be fine. So don't be flipping out. Don't be freaking out. You should be good here. Now, number 2 here. Another wholesaler offered me more for my house. So it's one of my favorite ones, right? Yeah. People freak out when they hear this. I answer it in a pretty simple way here. My best way that I answer this is, okay, that's great. What's their name? How many properties have they bought in the past month? Oh, well, me and my partner, John, we bought about 3 houses together the past month. And you go from there. And so what I mean by this is, to attack somebody with a better price, you're not going to beat them out on price. What you have to do is beat them out on credibility. And the best way for me to overcome somebody's issue right now with the price is you got to beat them with credibility. What I mean by this is, you kind of have to use the Steph Curry example. What does that mean? What I mean by the Steph Curry example is, if I say that me and Steph Curry combined have scored over 20 points per game this year in the NBA, it's not a false statement. And what I mean by this is, actually, let's do 1,000. Me and Steph Curry combined have scored over 1,000 points this season in the NBA. It's not a lie, because Steph Curry has 1,000 points and I have 0 points in the NBA this year. That equals 1,000. And so if your partner has bought 3 wholesaling deals or bought 3 houses for cash this month, me and my partner both combined as a joint venture have bought 3 houses this month combined. And so it's not but your credibility is your buyer, right? And so you can use your buyers some sort of credibility because they are your partner on this transaction, right? They are a partner on the HUD. So it's not a lie, but it's just, you have to use that for credibility, because they're going to start asking that question to the other person and they're going to be unprepared. And when they are unprepared, you are going to win here. And so, yeah, that's great. Another wholesaler offer you that, but like, they're not buying the house. Me and my partner, we're buying the house. So yeah, I can't compete with someone that's not going to buy your house. What they're going to do is ask how many houses that person bought, and they're going to lie. Say, well, I can show you addresses. And they're gonna be like, what, you really? I'm like, yeah, 123 Main Avenue. And what you're gonna do is, because you vetted your buyer, you show them the address, like, well, that's a Steve Young. Your name's Zach Ginn. Well, Steve Young's the principal. He's the one that has the money. I'm the one that goes find the deals with him. We work together. If you want, I can put Steve on the phone with you. And what you're going to find here is, if you have a cool cash buyer, they will be on the phone with you on the acquisition side. Obviously, you're going to have to give them a good deal, but it won't be bad. The issue is I see a lot of wholesalers out here. They get so freaked out. You can be a little more transparent if they're pushing you hard here. I don't really understand that issue. Just, you can put Steve on, you can put I've had my buyers on the phone with sellers before. It works. The thing is, if you're scared of it, but put the buyer on the phone. If they want to get through all the credibility, it gets stupid. But honestly, like, you will see the difference. And then say, hey, put you the other guy, you beat the competition every single time. So number 3 here. Who is this? How did you get my phone number? One of my favorite objections. You know, you're cold calling. Who's this? How do you get my number? It's pretty cool. Hey, my name is Zach. How I got your phone number? Well, my partner, Jeff, he does the marketing, and he gave me a phone number of people potentially looking to sell their property that meet the criteria for us to buy our next deal. Are you looking to sell your property? Simple as that. So let's go over this one more time. Okay. Who is this? Hey, my name is Zach. I got your phone number. Well, my partner, Jeff, or whoever your partner you want to blame, I say Rick. So my partner, Rick, gave me a list of properties where people possibly might want to sell their house. These fit the criteria for the next type of house we buy. Now, I get asked this. It is actually shocking that I get this a lot, is like, what are you going to do with my house when you buy it? The best answer to that objection is, well, we do a lot of things to the house. So either we'll buy the house, fix it up, rent it out, or we'll buy it, fix it up, flip it, and then put it on the market. The truth there is, we don't know what we're going to do to the house. The honest truth there is, we like to buy them, fix it up, and then see what's the best option. Sometimes renting it out's the best. Sometimes putting it back on the market and flipping it. Usually when the house just needs way too many renovations, we just flip it. When it doesn't need too many renovations, we'll just go buy and hold it. Depends on the property. Easy, simple as that. Sorry about that. But really, when it comes to the phone number, I always just blame someone else. You're not going to win if you say, I got your phone number, right? I know people say like, oh, I got your phone number from online. I got your number. You're not going to win. Let me just be honest. You ain't going to win that. Okay. Just got to be simple, got to be to the point, and make it easy. Number 4 here, right? This is a problem I see a lot of wholesalers have. And frankly, it drives me crazy. But a lot of people think because they're too young, they have an accent, something talking about their authority that they can't get a deal. As somebody that got their first deal at 17 years old, it's all a load of baloney. You are overthinking this. You are overcomplicating this. And you're freaking out. Don't be, okay? So let's answer these objections of what I call authority. And I thought I was going to get a lot of these starting out in wholesaling, but really I didn't. And so let's talk about this. Number 1, you seem a little too young to be buying a house. Well, Mr. Seller, just letting you know, yes, I am 19 years old, but does my age, if I have the money to buy your house cash, affect me buying your property? And just so you understand that I'm buying this house with my partner. I'm the one that looks at the house. I do a lot of the young hustling, then they have the money. So yeah, I kind of understand you're asking like, why does a 19-year-old have maybe $400,000, $500,000 to be buying houses? Yeah, we do buy multiple houses every single month. And yes, it's kind of shocking a 19-year-old can do this, but I have partners that trust me because I am very good at finding good real estate deals for us to do real estate on. And usually you answer that, they have no problem with it. Now, once you like, oh, okay, there's another person working with you, that makes sense, right? The truth is 18, 19-year-olds get massive listings all the time for like, as a realtor. I personally don't think it's that big of like a crazy deal. I see so many wholesalers, man, like they use their age as a reason why they can't get, no. Say, is my age going to affect me buying your house if I have the cash? I buy it with my partner. So if you want an older guy, he's going to buy it with me. So we'll be together if it's an age thing. Easy. Now, let's talk about this thing, okay? And I want to talk about international wholesalers. They get flipped out over this all the time. Your accent. Oh, you sound, I'm, now, what I'm going to say is something that my VAs get called out on sometimes. I'm not saying this about you. I'm not saying about anyone with an accent. There's people with accents make way more money in wholesaling than me. But I will say this is a court objection, which I think is stupid, but it gets asked. Okay, so don't quote me on this, but it is something that does get asked, so we got to talk about, right? So let's say somebody's calling from England, right? They're from Liverpool. They're calling, and they say this. Use whatever country you want. But someone called like a British accent, and forgive me for my accent, but they'd be like, are you looking to sell your property? I don't know. I can't do an English accent, right? Do you want to sell your property? And, you know, the old school redneck from Alabama is like, are you from Alabama? No, they're like, are you from England? Oh, I ain't no selling my dang property to someone that lives in London. I want to sell my property to an American. Yeehaw, roll tide. You know, that's usually how the phone calls go. Now, I would apologize for saying the roll tide thing, but some people have used that moniker at the end of cold calls in the state of Alabama. And it ain't a bad word. And so a lot of people say, oh, I ain't selling my property to someone that lives in that dang country, only because you have an accent. It is the stupidest objection I get. And so you got to stand on your two feet on this. So if you live in a country and your first language is Arabic, and someone says, are you calling me from Saudi Arabia or something like that? No, I'm calling you from America. Yes, I have an accent. I do speak multiple languages. Does the fact that I speak multiple languages affect me buying your house if I have the money? Like the richest man in the world right now has an accent. Elon Musk. He's the richest. He might be the second now. I don't even know. But like nobody makes fun of Elon Musk because he has an accent. And I hate to tell you, like some of the richest real estate guys all have accents. And like I'll tell you, one of the richest guys in my local market, and this is just shout out to the culture there. There's a lot of people from India that come to this country. They get like, they're surgeons, accountants, business owners. I know this one guy, he owns multiple gas stations and he makes millions of dollars and he saves his money and he pulls it more. And, you know, he's from India. He's got a thick accent and he just buys real estate. It's easy, right? And does his accent affect him buying my houses? No. And so when you get asked about an accent, say, well, I know I have an accent, but does my money affect it? Simple as that, right? You have to do what the kids say. And so people my age, are they really my age? I don't know. People younger than me. Now I'm going to teach my guys and gals in their 80s, 70s, 60s, and 50s and 40s, 30s, maybe late 20s. Young kids now have the saying, and I know it's going to be cringy because I'm 24 and I feel old because I didn't even know about this. They do something called standing on business. So they say it. It's called standing on business. And you have to quote stand on business. Look, search standing on business on Urban Dictionary. I was like, I like that. You know, I think 21 Savage said that the first time. That's how I knew about it. That's how old I am. But like you have to quote stand on business. Like if someone says you can't buy my house, you have an accent, show them the receipts. Like show them the facts. Like, hey, I have an accent, but me and my partner, we got the money. Does my age affect it? No. So if they get asked for proof of funds, show your cash buyer's proof of funds. You're fine. You see so many wholesalers, my age, win. Nobody cares about your accent, your age, or anything. Doesn't matter what you look like. Don't matter what you sound like. Zach, I have a lisp. Who cares? Like, I get the lisp thing's funny because I had one guy say, I have a lisp. I can't wholesale. I'm like, and this guy like loves rap. I'm like, have you ever heard of Corday? And they're like, I love Corday. I'm like, he's got a lisp. He's a great rapper. Like, you got a problem with that? Well, no. You know Mike Tyson? He's got a lisp. He's one of the best trash talkers. Like I get every single time somebody gives me an objection that like I can't do it because of this. I bring up someone who is in a worse situation than you that did way better. Drives me crazy. Number 5, a price objection. Oh, I want $1 million for my house. That's always an interesting one. So when somebody says I want $1 million for my house, the best way for me to answer that objection is simple. It's like, okay, so you want $1 million for it. Well, I don't think I can pay $1 million for it, but how long have you been thinking about selling the property for? Well, I wasn't really thinking about it, but that's my price. Okay. So you weren't thinking about something? Well, you definitely have a price in mind. How did you come up with that price? I'm just curious. I don't see any evidence supporting that, but maybe you can change my mind. And you could tell pretty quick if they're not serious, just go to the next one. It's not that big of a deal. The truth is, you just got the knowledge of what to say. It drives me crazy. So many wholesalers get so freaked out over this. It's like, oh my gosh, what do I do if somebody talks about me, right? Oh my Lord. Guys, so many wholesalers get so freaked out right now when the truth is, if you know how to answer the objection, you're good to go. You know how to talk to wholesalers, you're fine. But the problem is so many wholesalers go out here and get freaked out that, oh, my age, the way I look, the way I sound, when. I don't care. If you can go out here and just show up, get the reps in, you're going to be fine. Drives me crazy, right?